Hey everybody, welcome to it's been a while, another architecture review, right? Today we're gonna be looking at another 𝗦𝗬𝗕𝗦𝗖𝗥𝗓𝗕𝗢 project, and I saw this one's intriguing because it's a smaller project. And usually with smaller projects with big budgets, or it depends if this project is constrained to this particular lot, and he has more money to like spend on maybe curating the materials and things of that nature. It might be a nicer project, and oftentimes smaller projects actually look way better than these giant projects. So we'll see. Dutch Bros just finished our workout, so we'll get started. Let me lower the volume, put up the captions so we can see what the heck he's saying. And this project, what's it called? I don't think it. Let's look at the. It says designed like a Tesla and built like a factory. And that, if it's designed like a Tesla, we're gonna have issues, right? Let's look at the website for this house. Okay, it's not bad. Looks looking neat. Is it this house? I don't think it's this house. I think this is a company. Okay, so I guess the company is a prefabricated assembly, so they prefabricate everything and then they just bring it in on site and then they build it, right? It's okay, I guess. Call it what you will, it's still prefabrication. And I guess this is their first project. Yeah, I think it's their own. They have these smaller units. I mean, all these are basically the same as if you're buying a mobile home. They're just looking nicer. So we'll see what they did. Right away, we can start this. Look at what we have here. Interesting. So the main downside of prefabrication, you're gonna be limited to your materiality, right? You have to have weird look here. So here, right away, this kind of top portion looks kind of weird. This rhythm just isn't flowing for me, right? You have, we'll call that A, B, C, D, B. I mean, A, B, C, D, C, B, C again. So it's okay. I do like this entryway though. This kind of use of concrete, right? And it makes sense. So usually when we did a lot of prefabricated schools, right? We'd always have, we call it a rat slab and then a base, right? So you have this base. It's gonna be maybe 16 inches or depending 24 inches off the ground, and then the prefabricated modules would sit on top of this. So this kind of makes sense how they're doing it here. They create this base, which is going to be your foundation, and they're going to sit this prefabricated modules. I almost guarantee these beams go here, but they're also going to run all the way across the back, basically. So when you drop in the module, it just sits on top. I like the use of concrete here. The materiality is pretty nice. I think the contrast between this black and this concrete is, I'm a sucker for black, so this is nice. This little lining here around the edges, it's okay. It's more of a gimmicky thing. But we'll see. Let's see how it looks. It's only 425 square feet, so it's very tiny. Think about, maybe it's about the size of 2 bedrooms in your house.
Square foot tiny home that is designed like a Tesla. It can be built.
So I'm surprised he did 26
and it is
minutes.
Claimed to be more efficient and better
house.
Engineered than any conventional home. Now it costs around
That's not true. So he says better engineered. That's not true, right? Engineering on homes specifically, especially if this is in California, it all has to follow international building code and California building code and all that stuff, right? So engineer wise, they're not overbuilt. This might have a little bit more rigidity because you're gonna have to transport the units, right? But the building code is the same.
$1,000 to build one of these. Is it worth it?
$350,000 for 150 square feet. No, it's not worth it. You could literally probably go to like a prefabrication company here in California, and they could probably design something similar for way cheaper at maybe 160,000 square feet, $160 per square feet. So if we look at the calculator, let's calculate the cost per. He said 350,000. He said it was 425 feet. You're paying $800 a square foot. Heck to the no. That's way too expensive. That's even higher than building it in LA, right? LA, I think You can probably build at around $400 a square feet. So this is pretty expensive. I'm guessing it's a pretty high-end neighborhood, and that's cost might be the cost to build plus the land.
Well, let's go find out.
Let's go find out. Interior pretty
Imagine being
clean.
able to design a custom home straight from your iPhone. We have the best engineers from Apple, SpaceX, Tesla, Ferrari, working together to build the homes of the future.
Okay, so you mentioned the best engineers from Tesla, Ferrari, but where's the architects? Where's the designers, the people that actually design homes, right? And
We want to make building a high-performing, modern home easy and affordable for everyone.
There's a reason houses
so this looks a little better, this back side. I think that's nicer than that front side.
have been built the same way for over 100 years. Because unlike cars or cell phones, every home needs to fit its environment and your specific needs.
Building in a factory is better than conventional construction because you can build efficiently, you can build with higher precision, and you're not impacted by external variables.
Today we're going to tour one of the first homes that is built in a factory and can be customized perfectly to your property.
So it's not the first home built in a factory, right? All the prefabricated homes are built in a factory. I think what he means to say is technology-wise and speed, right? I saw they were using a lot of robots and stuff. I mean, that's true. So you do speed-wise, right? I think so how these kind of work is, I did this too for like the company I work for prefabrication, right? We would create a kit of parts, right? So we'd have, say for example, we're gonna have a 10 by 12 module unit, right? This module unit we're gonna have. We're gonna know the structure already, so I would build the structure. The structure is it is all in Revit 3D, right? Once you have the structure down, then you can create calculations, right? For every, let's just say a calculation for every intersection of the beam with the pressure treated wood at the bottom of the wall. Let's add a bolt. Sorry, I'm forgetting the names right now. Let's add this many nails for this wall, right? You can calculate that kind of thing. So that's kind of, and then once you have a calculation like that, you have this wall requires this many studs, this many connection points. You need this many nails, this many bolts, right? You know that wall is gonna have plumbing, right? We would know how much the line of plumbing you need for that wall, etc., right? So you start building a database of kit of parts for this one wall, right? Now you combine that wall into a unit. So now you have a unit that's in Revit, it could be in anything, right? Now you can spit out information, right? You can tell the client. And then there's ways where you can export that data in Excel using DI roots out into an Excel file, right? This Excel file then you can do all sorts of crazy things, right? You can link real world prices through that Excel file to those items, right? So doing that way, you can know exactly how much you're going to cost, how much your building is going to, which I think what they're doing, right? They probably created a custom interface to do this, but basically they're probably gathering all these data from Revit, right? And now there is programs like Speckle that translates Revit data into like a 3D data, and then you can do all sorts of things with that. So I think that's what they're doing. That's how they're being able that you could design it, because it's going through Speckle, through or another similar software, converts it to like a solid API that you can run in a website and you can design, right? So that's what they mean. It is innovation, but the prefab has been going on for ages.
We've toured tiny homes before, but we've never seen one like this.
I'm almost curious to see just how much it's built in the factory, and when it comes in, does it come in fully assembled? Because usually prefabrication, if you have two modules butting up against each other, you can't assemble that in the factory, right? You can assemble almost the full thing, like 90-80%, and then once it gets to the site, you're gonna have to flash between the two units. So we'll see.
We're gonna see if
Okay, here's a better view. Okay. So of course, flat roof, easier to prefabricate. That's also, I don't see any seams, so they're usually on the roof it's flat. You're gonna have a seam. I'm also kind of worried there's no parapet So usually when you do flat roofs, you don't just do it like this, where you're just completely flat into this area. Yeah, obviously they have gutters here and downspouts, some drain here, but I don't see an overflow drain either. So usually you'd want an overflow drain, just in case like one of these kind of gets full, right? They're using 2 drains, and one might be overflow, one might not be. Also, I don't see any yeah, so it's pretty flat. So the only issue is, like, say this area floods, right? I mean, it's not likely, but say it does, all that water is going to come through here over this edge here. So we better pray that this whole area was waterproof correctly. So here you have a spandrel glass, kind of hide the structure. Structure is here. I'm guessing that's 12 bys. Steel. It might be steel.
To the height.
And here you have let's go back to the image so you can see how they're cooling these units, right?
We're going to see.
So here you have a little a unit here, which is like a Mr. Freeze, right, that you guys see on YouTube all the time, which is perfectly viable for this kind of unit. Simple, quick, easy, and it cools the whole house down. But we can really see the footprint here. It seems more like this is an ADU portion of the house. It might be like, what I'm thinking it is like this is the garage area for the house back here. And this is like an ADU on top of the garage for that house. It seems pretty small.
Lives up to the height. Stay inside for
so that's like seems like that door, he's probably like 6-ish, so it's probably like a 9-foot height.
24 hours. We got a lot to see today, so let's dive right in. All right, everyone, let's start our tour on the exterior.
Yes,
I'm beyond excited for today's video. We're touring
we already got into it. It's only been like 5 minutes.
Prefabricated home built by Cover, and not only we're touring this property, we're also getting a chance to stay in it tonight. That way, we can give you guys the full experience. Now, on the exterior, we can see that this property is built on a hillside, consists of 2 levels. We have the garage on the first floor with the exposed concrete foundation. And on the second floor, we have this amazing 425 square foot unit with this really cool warm wood exterior, stainless steel railing, wraparound deck, staircase.
And I do like the wood. I just feel like these breaks kind of don't work for this design, right? I would have rather seen this mat or this finish just go all the way through here, frame this view right here, right? But that could be an option. This is probably how they did the clients wanted it, right? I'm assuming they have a way so that they can clip on different options to here. It seems like there's probably like there's a system here where you can just clip on different options. If that's the case, then you could do probably like hardy panels, etc. So that's probably part of the options.
Check out upstairs.
We should probably go to the website and make our own one.
I actually want to show everybody the garage. Dal, can we hit it? It has this really cool
big garage door too, right there.
Garage door, and it opens up from the street level. Wide. And there you go, nice polished concrete floors. We also have the electrical box.
Is it crazy? I love this more than the house.
And the water heater on this level.
I love concrete.
All concrete walls. And these walls are essentially the foundation of this property.
Luckily, it's not in like another cold climate, right? You're
freaking 2-car garage.
Car
now let's walk out for a
heck.
second one more time. I also really like how it has these sliding glass doors opening up.
I almost would have loved to see the steel here repeated at the top right here. Like that would have made this more pop out. This railing here, I like that it matches the black steel, right? That's nice.
The spaces to this.
I really don't like this wood here though.
Wraparound deck, and we also got a chance to meet the team that's behind Cover. We met the CEO, their lead designer.
There you go. I saw the frame right there.
To understand a little
so
bit
it is a steel rigid
how
frame.
They fabricate and produce some of the panels that it takes to put these homes together. Super fascinating, and I'll talk more about that later.
I want to know what their lead time is. Like,
let's go through
comparable
this
to like.
It's
gonna be faster than building
the staircase that takes us up to the top floor.
But at $350 grand,
a pretty compact lot.
You probably build that way cheaper.
Pre-manufacture a home like this, you can place it nicely and maximize the lot. This is the concrete staircase that takes you up to the upper section.
And that cost is not including the cost of the site work, the grading, all the plumbing connections, right? That's just the cost of that module, I hope.
It's really nice that they
I hope
built
not. I hope it's everything.
Deck that connects all the rooms to each other. We have the front door on this side, and if you continue, deck turns to the left where we have the bedroom and the living room, which we're gonna check out later in the tour. Now let's talk about the exterior material for a second. They have these horizontal wood slats, which give the home a very nice, warm, and minimalist feel.
They make a lot of those
and behind these wood slats, we have pre-manufactured wall panels that are built out of steel and high-density foam. And the beauty of this panelized system is the freedom it gives you when designing and constructing your home.
You can think of the cover building system as a set of life-size Lego blocks. And these panels are made in the factory with plumbing, with electrical, with insulation, with waterproofing, with the connection system already made. Then they're flat packed on a regular truck, shipped out to the site, and then assembled without the use of heavy machinery or a crane.
Saving time.
That's not true there. Look, if we go
without
back.
the use of heavy.
So he said they're sent with waterproofing, which is almost impossible to do because where you have different materials meeting, right? You have to waterproof that area. And here you can clearly see here they're adding waterproofing on top of the panel, right? So yeah, I think it probably does ship with like insulation, and it's like a whole rigid structure, right? That they're gonna pop together, which is nice. That is cool. But you can clearly see here they're still gonna waterproof it between your wall panel and your facade.
Machinery or a crane.
Saving time, money, and ultimately making the entire process headache-free. And in a few weeks, they can produce these amazing minimalist modern homes, which is fantastic. We're looking at one today,
which is nice, and a couple weeks is pretty cool. I almost wonder.
Next, we're going inside.
What's their size
Welcome
limitations?
to this amazing home. To my left,
we're only seeing like a rectangle,
side,
right?
We have.
I haven't seen any weird notches.
Hardwood floors.
Interior walls are easy to do. It's the exterior. We try to do weird angles. How do you build that modular?
And this 425 square foot tiny home packs a lot of unique details and finishes that I'm going to cover throughout the tour. But first, let's talk about the specs. So this one is a 1-bedroom, and it costs around $350,000 to build one of these. That includes the site work, engineering, permitting. It's basically a turnkey product for that price. They also have different layouts. They have an S1 layout. They also have an S2 layout, which is a 2.
Okay, perfect. This is what I want to see. So let's go back to that plan out here. Crazy. Where'd it go? Right there. Oh no.
Product for that price. They also have different layouts. They have an S.
All right, so their layouts are pretty much going to be the same, right? They're trying to mass produce these to make a profit. So let's see how they have it. Kitchen, probably pantry, door, bedroom, bathroom unit, typical, probably 5 foot wide. Oh, you got 17.3. Okay, that's not. What else is there? So the bedroom's pretty 17 feet. It's pretty good. Because so I'm guessing.
S1 layout. They also have an S2 layout.
So the same bathroom configuration, that didn't change. Living room pretty much stayed the same. They just flipped it over, I believe.
They also have different layouts. They have an S1 layout. They also have an S2 layout.
They just took out the wall. Yeah, they just took out one of the. They added this extra module, which is a duplicate of this one here.
Which is a 2-bedroom model. I believe that one costs around $514,000. You get a turnkey product for that price. Now, back to the living room.
I mean, it makes sense if you live like somewhere like California, right?
You have a couch, small dining area. TV
that's actually cheap, depending on the area you live in. I mean, if you're gonna live like somewhere like
why don't you come over to this
one of those desert cities, 500,000. Nah, you could probably build it for cheaper.
Assembly. Cover designs and builds their own windows and doors as well, which is great. That way they can integrate these openings perfectly to the structure of the home. If you look closely, you will see that tracks are perfectly flush on the floors.
I almost want to see the cost benefit of that. If you're gonna, I mean, I guess if they have the system in place to do all that, yeah, that's pretty cool. But I mean, there's a lot of systems that and details that kind of work in it. But I'm assuming, I'm almost curious to see how profitable the company is. if they're creating all these custom systems. One company that I would have used is like Panorama. They have these ceiling to floor flush systems already, and they're German, so they're pretty damn good.
As the ceiling, which gives you this true floor to ceiling opening, maximizes the natural light that comes into this unit. They also tuck their automatic shades nicely to the ceiling as well. And let's actually open up this sliding glass door. There's a magnetic release here.
That's cool.
Operates very smoothly.
Nice.
And there you go. Opens up the living room to the wraparound deck. In fact, Dal, let's go outside.
I'm also curious about the warranty, right?
Lake,
like,
and this is
they're
your
building
cozy
these, and what's the
upper
warranty
deck
like?
off of your living room.
What if
you
your
just
door
walk to your
fails, right?
bedroom, which is fantastic. Dal, can you come outside for a second? I want to talk about this detail. They have these recessed in key fobs, which are a nice convenience. You can place them next to a sliding glass door or a regular door, so you can come in and out of the property very easily and lock it here or unlock it. You can see the rest of the deck here. In fact, actually, Dal, can you walk backwards for a second? I want everybody to see the span of this tiny home. I mean, it's a pretty good size, right?
Oh, it's a great size.
17 feet,
Just enough for all the
exactly.
comforts you'd expect from a regular home, but really stays true to that minimalist theme.
I think this home is pretty nice. I mean, if you're, you know, if you're
I feel like this house
single
is
person,
perfectly
right, or
designed for
just
your
you and
needs.
your
It's not too much. It's not
a
too
wife,
little.
right, and
It's
you
just
want
the right
something
amount.
small that
You
looks
get an outdoor
darn,
deck,
like, it
you
looks
benefit
nice
from the
compared,
great
right?
weather,
If you want
and
something
you can
small
just
that you
flow straight
can,
to the inside, which is
put
amazing.
in like
Now,
a,
let's
like
talk
say you
about
have a
some
small
of those
property lot,
minimalist
and
details.
beach, right? This
you
would
can
freaking
actually
be
see
perfect.
the seams on the walls as well as the ceiling. That's where we have the pre-manufactured panels. And Cover wasn't shy about these panels. In fact, they've embraced it and made these seams or these panels part of their design aesthetic. In fact, that's why they have these ship track.
I don't think that's what they did. There's probably a set distance how they can manufacture these panels, right? And or where their table where they're making them, right? To hide the seams of this, they had to put some kind of, it'd be like a regular drywall, right? You had to, you know, tape it up, hide the seams, right? So obviously, or they create a new piece that hides it, or figure out a way, right? Or they had to get a bigger manufacturing table where they can cut huge panels this size. So it's mostly a byproduct of the design, right? But it's nice. I mean, it gives that kind of sci-fi look,
join
right?
each other, which is super cool, very clever. So they use this approach and worked it to their advantage and really embraced it on their design aesthetic. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Anis, this living room is a little bit too small. We don't know if this would be enough for myself. Well, you're gonna find out, because me and Dal are gonna be hanging out here this afternoon. This looks ridiculous.
I could eat this every day.
To severe Crohn's disease.
I feel like I'm like doing math homework with my dad.
I have a feeling it's gonna be just fine. Now,
Yeah,
we
it's like
have
for a
the
small,
kitchen
small
behind
little
me.
group of people. Two
Before
people
we
and
talk about the
friends.
kitchen, I gotta talk about this really elegant detail that they apply throughout the entire space. Because they're pre-manufacturing their walls, pre-wiring it and pre-plumbing it, it gives them an opportunity to recess in their light fixtures, their plugs, very efficiently without any cover plates. You can only do that when you can precisely cut panels. And the way they do that is through CNC machines. And that's exactly what they have at their factory. These machines allow you to cut
Which
with
I'm assuming
precision,
those
which
kitchens are
accomplishes
set,
a
right?
perfect
There's
fit
not
and finish.
that
wasting no
module, how
time
that
or
kitchen fits
materials.
is gonna be
During
like
our
down
tour,
every
we learned
design,
from the
right?
CEO that
If they start,
now
I'm
have a
sure they can do
machine that
custom
can
ones,
automatically
but that
switch
keeps it so that
each
they can
drill bit,
they know
getting
that
them
light's
closer
gonna
to
be there, that
mass-producing
fixture's gonna be
homes
there. They can
as
recess
efficiently as possible.
that, and which is
In
yeah,
fact,
you see right there, they had it
also
cut
have
out
this
already.
really cool
So this
software
whole
where you
area
go
is
to
never
their
gonna
website,
change.
Type in your address.
And if you're gonna do a
and it
custom one, and
literally
obviously
shows
they're
you
gonna
whether you can
charge you. You
build
can see on the
an
website. I
ADU,
think he saw it. There's
basically
only
a
like 3
backyard
options,
home
right?
to your property, how
Which is
big
good,
you
right?
can
If you
build
want,
it.
if that's how you
can
want
literally
your
design it on their
thing.
website. Select few
So the
options
kitchen's
and
always
voila,
gonna be the
you
same
get the pricing
locations,
on the spot,
and that's
they
the beauty
guarantee
of
that pricing
prefab,
for
right?
you
You can
all
just
the way to the
duplicate it.
finish
Now
line,
compare this to
which
the
is
other
kind
house
of
we reviewed
unheard
with
of
the
in the construction world.
they're using the
trying to make
shipping
the process
containers,
of
right? That was
building
more
a home
architectural.
really simple for people. And the first question people often have is, what can I even build on my property? What fits? What can I afford? What's allowed based on the zoning? And we solve that with software.
Being able to go to a website and see how much it's going to cost you to get a space like this and be able to predict the timeline.
And I think that's probably the
That's a
coolest part
difficult
about
challenge,
that.
and that's
This
what they're
company,
going after.
if
which
you're
is
there with a
super, super
zone and give you zoning
Now,
information,
next, let's cover this
that's probably
really
more valuable
minimalist
than
kitchen.
how much it's gonna
Beautiful white modern cabinetry.
and that's probably where
we have this
I would
sink
have
to the left.
spent my millions of money, right? I think the UK does something similar. They built their own system where you pick a lot in the UK and then you kind of give it what you're gonna build there, how many floors, etc., and it'll spit out all the zoning requirements, like what
that's really strong,
theoretically gonna cost you, and that's all through the government. That's like
and
free.
the 𝗓𝗏 loves using bamboo. In fact, we're going to see it with the built-in cabinetry, vanities.
So bamboo used to be like a
and it's just
really
an
big
amazing
hit back in the day,
material and goes
right?
with
It used to be like,
ethos
oh, it's
of
eco-friendly,
𝗓𝗏,
it
so
grows
they
like
use it a
grass, like
lot.
wheat, right?
Now the rest
I think
of
the problem
cabinets
now
are
is
down
that all
below.
bamboo is
We
being
have a lot
shipped.
of drawers,
So
storage
it's got to a
spaces.
point where it's
Most
just
of the
as expensive as
appliances
wood,
are actually
right?
paneled.
There's not
We
many
have the
bamboo
Sub-Zero
farms
fridge.
they're manufacturing
Behind this panel,
bamboo
they use really
cabinetry
nice
here
high-end
in the
appliances.
US.
And they prefer this
I think it's coming
paneled
from Canada
approach
too,
because
maybe.
it makes the kitchen a little bit more minimalist and less cluttered, but you have everything you need. That's your freezer.
Yeah, I agree. The kitchen is
And
well designed.
it's a really
The
well
panels
thought
are
out,
flush.
really cool
Gives us this
kitchen,
modern
but gets
aesthetic
better.
feel. And
If you
I'm
want a
almost
bigger
curious to
kitchen or
know
a
what
different
this
layout,
front
because of
material
their
is. It might
panelized
be
approach, 𝗓𝗏 can provide you
laminated
any
wood.
type of space you want, and they can reconfigure it to your needs. Basically, options are endless. And the reason this is so revolutionary is because it allows you to benefit from their factory approach while still being able to customize your home precisely to your property. So no matter how big or small your plot is, whether you want multiple bedrooms, bigger bathrooms, a guest house that matches the shape of your backyard, 𝗓𝗏 can design the perfect home for you. In fact, later in the video, we'll also see another 𝗓𝗏 unit with a totally different layout. Now with that, we're done with the kitchen. I want to walk this way so we can talk about this hallway. Essentially, your kitchen cabinetry continues. You have additional storage here.
I'm more impressed
Again,
he spent
track
25
lights.
minutes on this
Door
little
behind me leads to
450
the
square
bedroom,
foot
which we're going to check out in a
He's
second.
done
Bathroom is to my
25
left.
minutes on bigger homes.
And I gotta say, with its design aesthetic, the way they put these homes together, I feel like I'm in a Tesla home.
Yeah, it almost has a futuristic feel to it with how sleek and modern everything is. You know, the straight lines, the way so many features disappear when you're not using them.
Everything is concealed. And in a way, I feel like this is the modern day approach of Sears homes back in the day. You know those catalog homes where like Sears used to print these massive catalogs with all these homes that you can just go.
Oh yeah, like when you bought it out of a newspaper or something.
Exactly, and they ship it on site and you
the
basically
towns?
assemble it.
Shanty
If
towns? I
anybody
forgot
that
the
watches
name.
our channel that's out there that has one of these homes, please let us know in the comments below, or just send me an Instagram DM. I want to come and see one of these homes. I've never toured one of these, and I was just always fascinated by the fact that you can buy a home off of a catalog. Sears, you've done something great. All right, let's continue. Now I want to show everybody this amazing bathroom. You have your vanity, wall-mount toilet, walk-in shower on this side, and what did I say earlier? 𝗓𝗏 loves bamboo. That's your bamboo vanity. Then you have your minimalist sink with these sleek black fixtures. Of
I'm almost curious to know the price of all these interior features.
And of course, they recess the plug nicely into the cabinet. So it's very, very
the fixtures, all that stuff.
Same track lights continue.
They have an
and
interior
on this
designer,
side,
you know,
we have
you don't
the
want
walk-in
that
shower.
particular
Considering the
shower
fact
head, right?
that this
Must
home
be
is
more
425 square feet, you would
fancy.
assume that your shower would be really small. Totally opposite. I mean, I'm very comfortable here. I have a massive rain head.
Right, it's not.
You have this obscure
He's
glass
probably used to the
that
big
runs
old
from
ones
the
they
floor
show
all
on
the way to the ceiling, so you get great natural light. It feels very good to be here. Your floors are nicely flush, drain right in the center, waterproof wall panels, so you don't really have a ton of seams or a ton of details. It's basically foolproof.
Not too bad to detail
Like
either.
I said earlier with the kitchen, you can configure the space differently as well. There are some covers with freestanding tubs. There are some covers with bigger bathrooms. So even though they're using these panels, they can basically build a space that fits your needs, which is really, really nice. During the time we were making this video, we saw and experienced some of the other 𝗓𝗏 homes. Meet Patricia, who is the owner of this 450 square foot unit. We got a chance to talk to her firsthand to see if she's happy with her tiny home after 2 years of ownership. But before we get there, let's get a quick tour of this unit. This one is an actual proper ADU because we have the main residence on this side. So this structure is positioned on the backyard, and let's go in. Check this out. This one is actually a studio, so the entire thing is all open. We're looking at around 450 square foot. And
so you see here, even the kitchen is kind of the same as the other one, right? They just flipped it before. I mean, they extended it, but the overall, the entry's kind of the same spot. The living room's kind of the same spot. It's just an extension.
The interior space. We have a small office off of the entry.
That's
beautiful
nice.
hardwood floors. Same track lighting system. And on the other side, we have this really nice modern kitchen, again with white cabinetry. You have your sink, dishwasher, open shelving, induction cooktop, oven. I mean, you literally have everything you need here. And then you go to the other side, dining area with a TV, living room right in the center. Of course, it opens up to a really cozy backyard.
Question is, like, how
you have a
easy is
deck
it to
right next to the property, and then your open
access
bedroom
the
area. You get a queen size
drill through the wall, right? What if you're like a new homeowner for this thing? How easy is it to get behind that wall to access, like, say there's a pipe leak, say there's an electrical issue, like how easy is it to get behind these walls? So does that void the warranty of owning one of these homes, right? What if you know, something goes wrong and you got a leaking pipe or a leak, you call somebody to fix it, they have to tear it apart, right? Does that void your warranty from the company, or do you have to wait for the company? Is it like Tesla where you got to wait for them to come fix it? That's probably a bigger issue here, and why these kind of don't take off, right? This proprietary technology makes it harder for a home buyer, right? If it's regular Schmo Joe, right, if you got to contact them to come fix this, right, instead of contacting a plumber and, you know, et cetera, right? So I'm curious to see how they deal with that, which I'm sure he's not gonna talk about it here, but I'm just curious to know how fixing these things comes. If it's like Tesla where you gotta wait, call somebody, right?
bed, stacked washer and dryer, additional cabinetry, motorized shades, and then you have a full bathroom on this side with a walk-in shower. This is amazing. Dal, what do you think?
Gotta say, I prefer this one to the one we were in, but if you like privacy and value that, the other one is a great option as well.
True. If you want to have a separate bedroom area, more of a formal layout, I think the other one is better. But if you are looking for a space,
and also having those dryers right next to your bed, man, that would
I feel
suck,
like having no walls.
What are you gonna do your laundry tonight? It'll be loud right up here in your face.
I mean, this could be a studio, this could be an office, and then
I'm
just
curious
like
about
the other one,
soundproofing
sliding
too.
glass doors open up to a really nice cozy deck and the backyard area. And this backyard is super private, and I gotta say, Cover's panelized approach really allows them to create unique spaces and adapt to different environments. How did you come about Cover, and what was the thing that made you decide, okay, instead of a conventional construction, I'm actually gonna go with Cover?
Yeah, so I have been interested in prefab architecture for 15 plus years.
Okay.
And I just couldn't find the company that kind of checked all the boxes. I wanted prefab, I wanted beautiful design. They just checked all those boxes, and I'm very, very happy with choosing them because once we embarked on the actual planning and construction phases, they handle everything and they're very experienced with LA and with
Permitting, site work.
all of that. It was such a refreshing experience. Every detail in here, every appliance, everything is determined up front. So you know exactly what you're getting, and the process they handle from the very first step all the way to getting your certificate of occupancy, and there's just virtually no risk in the process and no
If you hire an architect,
I highly
they do the same
recommend
thing.
Cover.
And now, back to the tour.
But I understand. I know what she means.
Now,
right?
let's walk outside.
If it's her first
because we got
home
a
that she
bedroom
built
to see.
custom,
In
right?
fact, it's
She-
right
she
behind
wouldn't
this
know
door.
the process.
This 170 square foot bedroom feels very spacious.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice.
We
I
have
like
a
the
queen
master
size bed
bedroom.
here and so much room to move around. In fact, let me close this door. This wall
Doesn't mean-
is all
it's bugging me that
cabinetry.
those
This is where you hang your
cabinets aren't
clothes,
centered.
store stuff.
See, this one is
These
centered
cabinets
here,
are actually very deep, which I'll
and
talk
this one is
more
not
about in a
centered
second.
here. That kinda
And
bugs
we
me.
have the same 8-foot ceilings here, but new Cover homes actually come with 9-foot ceilings, so they're gonna feel even more spacious. Floor to ceiling picture window on this side to bring natural light, with a motorized shade.
Sorry, we're having a little
It's
drink
a
of water.
really, really nice bedroom. What do you think, Dal?
Oh, it's massive. Really feels like a proper primary bedroom.
Good bedroom.
Yeah, like when you
also,
think
I mean,
about
he's probably shooting in
425
wide
square
lens, so it
feet,
looks a
you
lot
assume
bigger.
the space is going to be very tight. But because of the way they design these homes with
I like that
minimalist
nice little
wall
nuke right
panels
there with the desk.
with
That's
no
pretty
cutouts.
nice.
And by the way, these are not drywall panels. These are actually composite material walls, so they're way more durable.
Composite.
And you don't have to bring any additional light fixture or any accessory because you kind of have everything you need. It's definitely that less is more approach, but it works.
What do you want to hang
again, you have
something?
your cabinetry on this side. This is your storage area. You can hang your clothes. You have drawers down below. In fact, Del, why don't you come over to this side so we can turn around and show the rest of this bedroom. We even have bedside tables, small built-in desk area here with some open shelves. Let's go outside and see the deck again.
Let's see it.
So, magnetic door opens up, and there you go. Straight to the deck. And not only that, we're gonna get a chance to stay here, hang out in this property, see how it lives. Place is really cool, and we want to know what
So
it's
you're
like
just
to
gonna
live here.
stay
So
there.
we're staying
I
overnight.
think we can skip all that. Let's go here.
Let's drink our coffees. Oh,
Say cheese.
oh! I didn't know you were gonna record Del. Beauty of minimalism and impeccable design. As someone who appreciates functionality, I
think in terms of design, it could do better. I think if you're I think, well, the two they've shown have had the same material for the exterior, right? Same kind of language and same kind of elevations.
have to say, this is one of the most efficient
I think it's the right
homes
direction
and
in
impressive
what they're
uses of
going. I'm most
space
curious to see
I've
what
ever
they
seen.
do in the future.
I believe that the future of homes is about intentional design, where every single square foot counts.
If building homes in a factory is the future, then having the ability to customize those homes is the only way to get there.
The entire home is redesigned from the ground up to be a better product and to be geared towards manufacturability.
I know $350,000 for a tiny home might sound expensive, but much like the Roadster paved the way for Tesla and electric cars, Cover is innovating one step at a time to make.
I think that's interesting. I think it's a subset, right? I don't think it's a future. I mean, they like design. And here's another different version here they're showing. It's still the same kind of materiality and design wise. I think there's definitely a group of people that can afford this and put on our property, right? But I don't think it's the future of homes, right? I think using the same methodology of using that we're currently doing right now, and that's in, if you guys work in architecture, is this use of BIM, right? Building information modeling, to take it to next levels, right? We started really early on with level of details 200, 100, right? Just plans, documentation, dimensions, right? As we're learning in the field, right, we're getting to a point where like the data and the people that are trained is getting to a higher degree. So now instead of having, LOD 100, 200, now you're going to start building at 400, 500, which is basically integrated systems of design, right? Where your wall components, your wiring, your everything can be managed by an external software, right? So if your light bulb breaks down, you can directly see that, and you can find the online 3D model of your building, click on the light bulb, it's going to bring out warranty information, that type of stuff. That's where the future is heading, right? And baking all these parameters into your house, where you can have this offline widget or app that's going to tell you exactly the products, how to fix it, and things of that nature. And that's where it's heading. I think this prefabrication is still a good resource, but it's still costly, right? That doesn't solve the issue that we're going through housing, right? It's still very much, like he said, he wants homes that are designed for each space, right? And that's really what a good architect does, right? He designs for the space, minimizing waste, right? A lot of what I think, to his argument, he's basically throwing shade at GCs, right? And these companies like that make these cookie cutter homes, right? Where they're designing blah blah blah, putting down, right? But I agree. I think the quality of these buildings compared to maybe say a cookie cutter home is probably a little bit better because they have their whole system in place, right? The quality of this compared to like give the same footprint to an architect, right? A good one, he probably designed something even better than this, right? I think where they're lacking, and I'm curious to see the future of these, is their facades.
Modern living, affordable for
I've
everyone.
only seen
A
wood
cover home
facades
is a really
here.
high quality,
But
high
if you can put any type of facade,
as we ramp up production over
interested to see.
time, and as we invest further in engineering, tooling, manufacturing, supply chain, we'll make it a more mass market product and bring down the costs so that it works beyond California and into the rest of the country and even globally.
When you consider the challenges Cover is trying to overcome and the technology they fit
but
into
even
these
now,
spaces,
he has,
I
he
truly
has gone through through YouTube, right? And or many of you guys, has anybody? You're seeing now that even the pre-manufactured companies, like the ones that make like those mobile homes, I guess, like they're jumping on board now. Like a lot of them have gone to BIM now, and the products that they're producing now are pretty damn good, and they've had their manufacturing in place for ages, right? They didn't have to design custom wall panels, custom anything. They can literally ship you the whole thing built already, right? So it's almost interesting to see how they're going to compete. And if you guys look online, just look up prefabricated homes, modern homes, right? You'll see how freaking cool they look now. So it's almost like who's going to win this race, right? Is you know, because at a certain point, how much can you reduce the cost if you don't have enough buyers, right? Where if like you can buy a prefabricated home from a traditional company and they're going to sell it to you for, let's say 50 grand, 100 grand compared to 350, right? The only thing that's cool with this is they're including like permitting and all that stuff in there. I could see here with their
Believe that they have the potential to bring
design.
the luxuries we see on this channel to a mass audience.
When you think of the best phones, you think of Apple. When you
no, hell no. I think of Samsung.
think of the best electric cars, you think Tesla.
Nope, Tesla sucks too. Hit and a miss twice.
And that's
Toyota, man, best cars, never break down.
because they have the best product and the best technology. And so we want to bring that to homes so that when you think of the best homes, you think of cover homes.
It's incredible to see how Cover is participating in an industry that
I think, yeah, I guess in a way, right? But when I think of best homes, I'm always gonna think architecture, Ando, all these famous architects that design amazing homes, right? But I know what he means. I think when he thinks of prefabricated homes, you want to think of Cover.
has the potential to affect millions of lives around the world. And I'm inspired
There's
to
actually
know
Alejandro, what's his name? There's actually a guy that did a case study. What's his name? He did a case study on exactly this issue. What's his name? Oh no, what's his name? Price winners. What's his name? Let's see. And his name is. Oh, I didn't know 𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗓𝗦𝗢 won it, right? Oh, Alejandro Arevana. So Alejandro Arevana is a Pritzker Prize winner in architecture, right? And he did something really cool. Now that we're talking about cost and putting people in homes, right? Where he designed homes that are meant for low income workers that would actually. Oh, here you go. So this is Alejandro Arevana. He won the Pritzker Prize in architecture. A lot of his work, I believe it's all over the Peru, but there Mexico too. And this is one of the projects where he dealt a lot with companies. So in his area, like a company would set up shop, right, and then they take over this land and they would produce homes for these workers. They came to him because they wanted these homes to not just be permanent, but also be possibly, for them to keep as an investment, right, once they're done with their work. The idea he came up with, and you guys can see it here, was that using his methodology, and he did all these studies, right, he asked them, like, what's more important, right? A lot of the people here said that having hot water is important, and etc., right? So the way he did it, he built this modular shed here. So when you buy this home and you go work for this company, you're gonna get this, right? This shed and this room right here. Here you have your essentials, your kitchen, your bathrooms, and you have bedrooms up here. Like I can think it's 2 bedrooms, right? And this was to reduce the cost. This is the cheapest he could build it out of traditional materials, right? The idea behind this was that he would leave the support structures here, so that later on, as you worked and you got more money, you can add to this house, and later on potentially resell it, right? Because it's gonna have a higher value. And yes, you can see in this picture here, just look at this, how people started designing their home, right? 2 clearly different ways to do it, right? This one did a balcony, this one just straight out top. And there's a whole Let's see if we can find it. Here we go. And there's a whole, and he kept doing it. So he had this idea, right? So here he kept, here you go. He continued like, okay, now let's, and he did, there's an excellent TED talk actually by him. I'll post it in the link where he goes about this, how he came to his methodology of these homes, right? He studied a bunch of things and he said, this is the minimum square footage that a family of 3 needs to live, right? And he did it here now with the square building. He gave you he left the structure behind, but you had the freedom to start designing your own home, right? And this is how he started solving that issue of that is specifically and these homes are super cheap. They've turned into like, people have just started making them like very cool. Like, you know, they become these whole neighborhoods. Here you can see, look at that different shape here, right? So people started adding to these homes and making them their own. Like here you can clearly see, like this is an excellent image of the ingenuity of people, right? So he gave you this portion here, and then people started adding, right, as you got more money. And this is a completely new for these people that, you know, were working for a factory or something. They never had a home, and now they have something that they could start modifying, right? So this unit kind of fits the mold of what the family needs, right? If you know. And so it's pretty interesting. And here is the sketches and the neighborhoods he created. And I feel like that is something that's missing, right? It's this, if to solve the issue of housing, right? You need both, like the guy from the cover home said, is you need technology, right? But you also, in mass production, but you also need to think about things like these, like the human nature of these, right? So I think that's a good start. Anyways, that's my little criticism of this video. Is, I mean, I think it's a great where they're heading. I could see the potential of these homes, but right now they're just out of reach for most regular citizens, right? I think they have competition coming up. There's a lot of companies that are coming up trying to take on this space, right? And ultimately, it's going to come down to cost. How quickly, how cheaply can you put families into these, and are families willing to get into these, right? I think one of the most important things that has hindered these kind of homes, in especially LA, is a lot of families don't want to, you know, they want the single family dream, right? The house with the big yard and things of that nature, right? But I think as we progress now through these economic hardships, I think these homes are probably going to be more viable. If he can reduce the cost of these to probably, I'd say 150 just for the units, and then maybe 50 to 100K for the property, and be able to lease them themselves, as become, you know, bank loans, and then sell off the bank loan, and I think that would probably be amazing. Just create this duplication. But yeah, I think the company needs to work a little bit more on their facade designs, make it more appealing. But overall, I think it's really cool. You know, again, props for that. It's a great video by Ines. So I'll post it up. I'll leave the links in the below to 𝗦𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓, so you guys can see more architecture. I'll leave the links to the cover website, and then I'll leave the link to this video. But anyways, thank you guys for joining me for this small little review. I think it was like, what, 40 minutes? And then we'll post another one later. There's another house I want to see by the local project, which I don't think I've talked about them yet, but they have really cool videos too. But anyways, guys, click, subscribe, hit the notification. Helps me out a lot. Helps me know that you guys are watching, and then what do you guys like. Thank you. Peace.